Welcome to Timeless Battles, where history meets mythology. Explore the epic stories of ancient wars, legendary heroes, and mythological gods from diverse cultures. Lobo, the last Charnian, descended upon Earth with the speed of a comet, his space motorcycle cutting through the atmosphere in a fiery blaze. As the flames of re-entry curled around him, the air trembled and the ground below shook. He had been hired by a mysterious client to bring down the Hulk, either dead or alive. The bounty hunter grinned widely, his bloodlust growing as his motorcycle touched down in a secluded desert valley. The rocks and sand around him erupted from the force of his landing, but Lobo didn't care. He was ready for his fight, and he knew this green monstrosity would be a worthy challenge. From the hills to the north, the Hulk raged in a mountain pass. His emerald skin glinted under the setting sun, his massive form bulldozing through rock and trees alike. His rage was constant, and with each step, the ground buckled beneath his weight. Thunderous roars echoed across the wilderness as Hulk tore into a rocky outcrop, hurling boulders into the sky in a fit of fury. His anger had no clear target, but it was building steadily, creating an irresistible force of destruction. As his heart pounded, a presence in the distance caught his eye, another powerful being, one who dared challenge him. Hulk's eyes narrowed, and a deep growl rumbled from his chest. Lobo watched the Hulk from his perch atop a cliff, his eyes gleaming with excitement. He revved his motorcycle, its engines roaring like an animal, and sped off toward the green giant. The bounty hunter was eager, knowing that this fight would be unlike any he had experienced before. He didn't need to know the specifics about the Hulk's strength. He could already sense it. As he approached, he let loose a few taunting words, which only enraged Hulk further. "Hey there, big guy. You look like you could use a bit of a challenge." Before Hulk could react, Lobo pulled out a blaster from his side, aimed it at Hulk's chest, and fired. The blast was powerful, a high-intensity projectile designed to pierce through the toughest of metals. The explosion rang out, sending a violent shockwave through the desert. But when the dust settled, Hulk was still standing. His body had barely been scorched, the blast having only singed a small patch of his skin. He didn't even flinch. Hulk's eyes blazed with fury as he turned to face Lobo. The rage in him reached a boiling point. With a primal scream, Hulk charged forward, his massive feet crushing the earth beneath him. He was faster than Lobo anticipated, the ground shaking as Hulk closed the distance in seconds. Lobo quickly swung his chain, hoping to trip the green behemoth, but Hulk seized the chain mid-swing and yanked Lobo toward him. The bounty hunter was sent crashing to the ground, his body skidding across the desert floor like a rag doll. Lobo grinned, unhurt and unbothered. He rolled to his feet, smirking as he dusted himself off. "Not bad, Greenie, but I can do better." The bounty hunter tossed another explosive grenade in Hulk's direction, its fuse ticking as it sailed through the air. Hulk's instincts kicked in. He swiped his hand through the air, intercepting the grenade and crushing it in his grasp, sending a shower of sparks flying as the explosive fizzled out. Lobo was impressed. Hulk's reflexes were sharper than he expected. As the epic unfolds, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment for more epic adventures. But Lobo wasn't ready to give up just yet. With a maniacal laugh, he reached for his guns, opening fire with a barrage of bullets aimed at Hulk. Each shot hit its target, but the bullets simply bounced off Hulk's tough skin, leaving no visible damage. Hulk's gaze remained fixed on Lobo, his fury growing with every attempt to harm him. In the blink of an eye, Hulk leaped forward, roaring with rage, aiming to smash Lobo into the ground. Lobo dodged just in time, his body twisting with inhuman agility. He grabbed a nearby rock and hurled it at Hulk's face, but the stone had no effect. Hulk, now more focused than ever, charged again, and this time, Lobo didn't have the speed to escape. Hulk's fist collided with Lobo's side, sending the bounty hunter flying several feet into the air before crashing into the earth with a sickening thud. Lobo slowly pushed himself up, his healing factor working overtime to mend the wounds. The green giant's blows were powerful, but Lobo knew he couldn't just rely on his strength alone. He had to get clever, Pulling out another gadget from his belt, Lobo set up a series of mines beneath the sand, hoping to catch Hulk off guard. As Hulk charged again, Lobo detonated the explosives. A massive explosion erupted beneath Hulk, sending a wave of heat and dust into the air. The ground trembled with the force of the blast, and the shockwave reverberated across the desert. When the dust settled, Hulk stood in the same spot, completely unharmed. His skin had taken the brunt of the blast with barely a scratch, and his eyes were now glowing brighter with rage. He was growing stronger, and Lobo knew it. Lobo cursed under his breath and started to retreat, dodging Hulk's swings with expert precision. But Hulk wasn't about to let his prey escape. The green monster turned quickly, using his newfound strength to launch a massive boulder at Lobo's back. The projectile struck with such force that it sent Lobo crashing into a nearby mountain, the impact causing rocks to tumble down around him. Lobo was dazed but not defeated. His body began healing almost immediately, but the pain was beginning to slow him down. He knew he couldn't keep up this pace forever, especially with Hulk growing angrier by the second. Hulk, meanwhile, was now fully in control of the fight, his fury driving him forward with a single-minded purpose. Each swing of his fist felt like an earthquake, his blows sending shockwaves through the desert and rattling the very foundation of the land. In one final, desperate attempt, Lobo aimed his chain at Hulk's neck, hoping to choke the green giant and end the fight. But Hulk, with his incredible reflexes, snatched the chain out of the air and ripped it from Lobo's hands. With a primal roar, Hulk slammed Lobo into the ground, the impact creating a crater beneath them. Lobo's body bounced and rolled as Hulk continued his relentless assault, each blow more devastating than the last. Lobo's healing factor struggled to keep up with the damage. His body was battered, his energy waning. The bounty hunter realized that Hulk wasn't just stronger than him. He was more relentless. No matter how many times Lobo healed, the Hulk grew stronger with every punch. The green giant's rage was now a force of nature, pushing him beyond anything Lobo could handle. He had been worn down, his mind struggling to keep up with Hulk's ferocity. In a final, climactic moment, Lobo staggered to his feet, bloodied and broken. He glared up at Hulk, defiant to the very end. "Is that all you've got, you big green idiot?" He spat, his voice barely above a whisper. Hulk stood tall, his massive form towering over Lobo, his chest heaving as his breath grew more intense. He reached down, grabbed Lobo by the throat, and lifted him into the air, squeezing with such force that the bounty hunter gasped for air. Lobo's body strained against Hulk's grip, but there was no escaping the green behemoth's strength. With one final, bone-shattering punch, Hulk drove his fist into Lobo's chest. The force of the blow sent Lobo flying through the air, crashing into the earth with an earth-shattering impact. For a moment, everything was still. The desert air was thick with dust and silence. Hulk stood over Lobo's defeated form, breathing heavily, his body still radiating with energy. Lobo lay motionless on the ground, bloodied and broken, his regenerative powers struggling to catch up. His pride had been shattered, his strength and resilience pushed to the absolute limit. For now, the bounty hunter was defeated. Hulk, standing victorious, took one last look at the desert landscape before turning and walking away, leaving Lobo to heal and lick his wounds. The battle was over, and Hulk had emerged as the victor. Lobo may have been tough, but Hulk's raw power, relentless rage, and unyielding endurance had worn him down. For now, the last Charnian had met his match.